It's on private. Yeah, why is it? Why does it say private then? Yeah, oh, try here. Oh, okay. Can I? But then, you want to watch it? Oh, delete this one. Three dots. Oh, just try to click on the picture. Click on your channel. Just click on the picture. And that. Why is it just me? Yeah. It's weird.
Hi, Sensei. There's some people in there.
No. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our New Year's Eve service. It's New Year's afternoon right now, but New Year's Eve, Happy New Year. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming here to the Buddhist Church of Oakland. And we can ring out the new year in a little bit. But first, we're going to have Sutra chanting. And so we'll chant Juseige, which is on page 23 in the small purple book, and page 70-something in the big purple book. "93 in the big purple book. 93. I haven't done this in a while. Yeah, 23 in the small purple book. 23. 93, 23. Okay, next let's recite the three treasures. And the three treasures is on page 3 in the small purple book. The three treasures. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the Buddha Dharma, now we hear it. If we do not deliver ourselves in the present life, no hope is there that we shall be freed from suffering and sorrow in the ocean of birth and death. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in Buddha. May we all together absorb into ourselves the principle of your way to enlightenment and awaken in ourselves your supreme will. I take refuge in Dharma. May we all together be submerged in the depth of the doctrine and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. I take refuge in Sangha. May we all together become units in true accord in your life of harmony in a spirit of universal oneness, freed from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriad ages of kalpas, hard is it to hear such an excellent, profound, and wonderful doctrine. Now we are able to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teaching. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. Okay. Well, thank you once again. Happy New Year, everyone. In Japanese, we can't say what we say tomorrow. There's something different for today. Yoi o toshi o. And tomorrow we'll say the other thing, but I can't say it yet because it's not really New Year's Day yet, right? But in English, Happy New Year. Here we are. We're here at the cusp, right? And so what I did this year, what I'm kind of want to do is turn back the clock and think back to this past year. And I'm actually going to go one more day extra and think back to a year ago today, which was New Year's Eve, 2022. And the reason I want to go back to that time is because I wasn't here. My house, remember the rain? It was raining so hard, and my roof started leaking. So I was dealing with that. We still had a wonderful service. People, the troopers, they came out and they enjoyed New Year's Eve service here at Buddhist Church of Oakland. But just realizing that, wow, it's been a year since that. In a way, it seems like not that long ago. In other ways, it seems like a lifetime ago. Right? Which time is funny like that, huh? So now we can go one day further and 2023. Thinking back, right? Thinking back I've never done this before. I looked at some of my Dharma talks for the past year. What a concept, right? Think about what did I talk about this past year. And so I dug back a little bit, and I have a few things that I want to share. But first, maybe one of the important things to acknowledge, and one of the important things that Buddhism does acknowledge, is what we call the three poisons. The three poisons. Right? And part of me would don't be negative, don't talk about negative stuff. But Buddhism, I think, is very realistic. Right? And so one thing that we need to acknowledge is this three poisons. The three poisons are attachment, anger, and ignorance. Okay? Attachment, anger, and ignorance. Unfortunately, I think we saw a lot of that this past year. Right? Attachment could also be desire, right? Can also be greed, and that's one of the things that keeps us mired in what we call samsara. Right? And so whether it's greed for money or material items or power, right? That's one of the things. It's a poison. Buddhism acknowledges this is a poison. It's harmful. Right? It's not healthy to indulge in these things, and actually it causes great harm both to oneself and to others. Anger is another one that unfortunately we've seen a lot of this past year. Anger or hatred. Right? And this anger, hatred is another poison that just keeps us mired in samsara, keeps us suffering. And it not only causes harm to others, but causes harm to oneself. Sometimes it actually feels good in a way, right? To get mad, whoa, right? We get this feeling. But actually your heart beats racing and your blood pressure goes up, right? It even causes harm to yourself, and especially to the other person that we might be angry at. And then ignorance, the third one, right? And this ignorance is ultimately ignorance of true reality, ignorance of the truth, ignorance of the Buddha Dharma. Right? And oftentimes I think we think we're not ignorant, right? And I think I know. But often that I know is actually ignorant of other possibilities, right? Of other ways to think about things. So, and again, you might be like, why are you starting with that on New Year's Eve? But it's connected to the bell ringing we're going to do. So I'm going to talk about that later, okay? Now, one of the things I thought of last year, and I'm not tooting my own horn, but what we read, the three treasures, the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha, as our compass. Right? In the midst of the three poisons, in the midst of all this greed and anger and ignorance, we can get lost. Right? We get lost in that. We get stuck in that. And so Buddhism, right? The Buddha, the Dharma, the teachings, the truth, the Sangha, the community, they're like a compass for us. Right? So that as we're wandering around lost, we can come back and check our compass. Oh my gosh, I'm just going in the wrong direction. And one of the ways that we can find that working in our life is what we've been saying. I know many of you are come a lot of the time, and maybe anyone here for the first time? Okay, you may hear us saying Namo Amida Butsu a lot, right? Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda. That Namo Amida Butsu, this is Amida Buddha in our altar. Namo means to take refuge in. Right? So I'm wandering around lost. Oh, I want all this stuff. Oh, I hate that person. Oh, why are they're always, I don't know what they're thinking, but I think they're thinking this. Oh, wait. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. I'm getting stuck in the three poisons. I've caught myself like this the past few days even, thinking about getting angry, just thinking about stuff that's not even real. But then when I remember, oh, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, can get off that train. That train has taken me to more suffering. But I can get my compass of Namo Amida Butsu, and that can help reorient me, right? Help me face in the right direction. So this isn't just last year. I've been talking a lot. So, what is the Buddha Dharma? What are the Buddhist teachings? So I'll share one thing I've been sharing a lot, AKA. Right? And normally when you hear AKA, you think also known as. Right? But for Buddhism, it's awareness, kindness, and appreciation. Okay? Awareness, kindness, and appreciation. That awareness is the antidote to ignorance. Right? This awareness, trying to be aware. There are so many things we can try to be aware of, but even just being aware when I'm not being aware. Right? That we can try and be aware when I'm stuck in the three poisons. Right? Be aware when I'm getting caught up in the flames of anger, or in the water, the waves of ignorance and delusion and attachment. So that kind of awareness. And so one of my talks this year was awareness or lack thereof, right? To try and be aware, but even to be aware when I'm not being aware, right? Even that's a big step, right? So that if we can realize, whoa, wait a second, I think I know what this person's thinking, but when I actually talk to them, it's totally different. I can make up all kinds of stories in my head. No, we shouldn't do that, or yeah, we should do this, or why did they say that? But when we actually talk, right, realize, whoa, I wasn't right at all. And so that communicating, talking, that's part of Sangha, right? To be able to try to see more what's really going on. I also talked about Sadhusawa Pond, remember the pagoda, and this poem. There's a pond, right? Someone claps their hands, and the birds fly away because they're scared, right? The fish come because they think it's food. The servant thinks it's time for tea, right? So one thing perceived differently by so many. And that's another thing, right? To realize that there are all these different viewpoints. It doesn't mean all the viewpoints are necessarily right or healthy or constructive. And yet, I think realizing these different viewpoints, right? That maybe my viewpoint isn't the only one. So that's awareness, kindness or compassion, right? This is an antidote for anger, right? Rather than be angry at each other, rather than be fighting, rather than having this hatred, right? The antidote is compassion, kindness, right? To try and help others rather than hurt them. It sounds so obvious, right? And yet, not always the easiest to make happen. But I've been calling these Buddhist values, right? And so our Buddhist values of awareness, and then this kindness or compassion, and then the third one, appreciation. Right? Appreciation. And this is gratitude, realizing maybe how much that we have, right? Realizing that the Buddha accepts me as I am. Because, like I say, the lack of awareness, that's me. Right? I'm not always kind to everyone, to all living beings. And so to be aware of that, but also realize that Buddha accepts me as I am. Right? That, yeah, I'm not always kind. I'm not always aware. Right? And yet still embraced. And that embrace of the Buddha, I find transformative. Right? That realizing that allows me to keep moving ahead and keep trying to cultivate this awareness and this kindness. And this appreciation, what we do in Buddhism, right? We put our hands together. If we have a nenju, we can wrap it around our hands. You can see Gasho Bear is modeling it for us. People online too, right? Gasho Bear has their own nenju, right? And have their hands together in Gasho, expressing this appreciation to the Buddha. So they're not doing Gasho to me. They're definitely doing Gasho over there, right? You're doing Gasho in gratitude and appreciation to the Buddha. So, we're going to ring the bell. Everyone will get a chance. I wonder how many people we got here. That's a nice turnout. We'll figure it out. Normally, we ring the bell 108 times. But it's okay. We don't have to stick to that. I think that we can let people, you can ring, how about we do adults can ring once? Kids 3 times? Up to 3 times. Okay, if you don't want to do 3, you don't have to. But we can have kids can ring the bell some more. This 108 is the 108 defilements, kleshas, bonno. Right? This 108 defilements are based in those 3 poisons. Right? And so the 3 poisons times the 3 times positive, negative, neutral, times the 6 sense organs, I think is how we come up with the 108, or one way to do it. Don't check my math, please, because it might be off a little bit. But in Japan, traditionally, New Year's Eve, they ring the bell, right? Ring the big bonsho 108 times. So one way we can think of it is to try and dispel the 3 poisons, right? That's very often the way it's thought of. And yeah, we can think of it that way. I want to get rid of them, right? But we've seen so much in this past year. We want to have less, right, in this new year. And so the other way to think about it, and maybe a more Shinshu way, is to be mindful of these 3 poisons in myself, to be aware of them in myself. Okay? It's one thing to tell someone else, you're too angry, don't be angry. Oh, you have too much greed, don't be greedy. But it's another thing to see it in myself, right? To be aware of this, my own attachment, my own anger, my own ignorance. But with Buddha's help, with the Buddha Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha, and with the Sangha, the Buddhist community, and even just, I think, everyone, we can help each other, right? Remind us to check our compass, right? Remind us not to be stuck in anger and greed and delusion, but instead to try and live an AKA life, right? This life of awareness, kindness, and appreciation. So thank you very much for joining us. Let's conclude the Dharma talk. We can recite the Nebutsu one more time. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Namo. Okay, we got 70 people, and so that works out pretty good. Maybe you could even do 2 if you're an adult, and that might get us closer. So I'll leave it up to you. You have freedom to choose if you want to do 1 or 2 as an adult, 1, 2, or 3 as if you're a kid, right? And we'll have you come up here. You can offer incense. The bell's back here. I know most of you have done it, but some have not. So the bell's in this room back here. So we're going to ask people to come up, do incense offering, and then you can come over here, and then we'll kind of wait here because people need to go in and out, right? And so you'll wait here, and then we'll have groups go in, families can go in, right, into this room and ring the bell. And I know everyone's excited to do so, so let's do that. Yay, so this will conclude our service. Really wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you everyone online who's watching. And why don't we conclude our service once again with Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. So maybe we don't want to really crowd each other, so you can each group can kind of come up and offer incense and go in the room, and maybe you can have 1 or 2 groups lining up, but let's not have like a crush, massive crush. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Nama. Who wants to go first? You guys want? Yeah. Maybe I better stay here and maintain order.
Yeah. You got to direct us.
Yeah. Yeah, they're converted. They're Buddhist converts.
You don't want to do 3? You have 3. You need more.
It's okay.
You only do, the kids only want to do 1 now.
Yeah.
You can do more. You can do more. Come on. I'm going to do 2 then. I'm going to take 2 back.
Yeah, do it.
We got to get that 108. Someone's going to do it, right?